Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, all once again. So I would like to welcome you all on behalf of Pioneer Business Solutions and warm welcome to all the attendees for this Azure webinar. Yeah. And before dive into the webinar, I would like to take a few minutes to understand and give you a small introduction about us, what we do, what we does. A second, I'll just share the screen. Yeah. Yeah, as we are Pioneer Business Solution is a trusted leaders and delivering all kind of end-to-end solution, coming to the all kind of industries, verticals, and we do have a legacy of transforming 1,500 tested trainer database with us, and we are a leading corporate training providers from Decade, and we also offering across a technical, functional, OEM trainings and certifications across the groups. And we are also present in physically and virtually for across the globe. So we will be able to support inside India and outside India as well. And this is our unique strength of us, and we have, as I mentioned, that we have extensive trainer pool with us, and they also contracted with us for in a year, 3 to 6 months with us, and we have a rapid turnover time that once we get any kind of requirements, we'll be able to submit the solution within 4 to 24 hours, and we are fully customized, and training will be customized as per the business needs. And we have also partnered with few of the OEM products like Microsoft and Alliance Safe with the third parties. And as I mentioned that we are also present is physically and virtually worldwide. And we are this is all about our footprints. We are also into corporate training, information technology, mechanical civil engineering services, cloud services, and HR services. And these all are delivery modes like ILT, VLT, and we have open house batch, mentor on demand, e-learning, and we have bundle of high modes in one cloud labs, and this is all the authorized partner which I mentioned it, and this is all our offering. So we are not conducting only lateral batch, we also support from the campus to corporate competency development, project consulting, and soft skill behavior development programs. Soft skill, it's not like only for junior people and intermediate level people. We also deliver this kind of trainings for all the levels. So yesterday also we have delivered one webinar with the leadership, and it was successful. And this is all about the training modules which we support, and this is all our soft skill trainings and competences. This is also not a same, like we will be having pattern and we'll be following. This also can be customized as per the need and duration, and everything can be work based on the business expectations. And so we have this all the few topics I have mentioned it here, that we are very fledged in all the topics which is in the market, and all the technology we will be able to support, and we can able to meet the expectation as per the need. And this is all about our internal resources, that we have 7 in-house trainers. We deployed it in our client location, and we do have associated trainer, as I mentioned, 300 plus consultant who contracted with us for last in a year, 3 to 6 months. We can able to get it in a better pricing, I can say. And we do have freelancer trainer. They are expertised in all the topics, subject matter experts and trainers with 8 to 20 years of experience. And this is all our USP. USP is nothing but unique selling point. So as I mentioned in the first slide, that we can able to support any kind of solution within 4 to 24 hours, and this is how the process will work. So here I'm the account manager. So once I get the requirements, so I'll be sharing it with my team, and I'll get everything within a 4 to 24 hours. And this is all about our client list. So far, we are working with them, and we have delivered, and we do have many successful stories in our kitty. I'm very happy and proud to work with this client so far. And yeah, so and we have Jitu with us. So, yeah, sorry, some issue. I'm sorry, excuse me. Hope my screen is visible.
No, Sugati. Start.
Okay, let me reshare my screen. Yeah, and I would like to welcome Jitu. Jitu is he was our in-house trainer, and he also worked with us very closely, and very friendly nature trainer, I can say. So he will understand the pain point from each of as a learner, how the difficulties, and he will be able to justify the need. And he also as certified Microsoft, I'm very proud to say, and he's a Microsoft certified trainer and having a decade of experience, and he expertised in Azure, DevOps, Linux. Only few topics I mentioned here. So he is expertised in many other topics. And I hope everyone has received today like a webinar page that today webinar from 3 to 4 o'clock, and these are the key takeaways. And so I would like to welcome Jitu to take it ahead from here. And I'm sorry for the glitch in between while sharing the screen, and I'm sorry for that. And over to you, Jitu, and thank you so much for taking this opportunity. And we look forward to have this session wonderful. And over to you, Jitu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sugandhi. Hello, guys. Good afternoon. This is Jitendra Singh Tomar. In short, you guys can call me Jitu. I will be the presenter for today. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. Please respond back in the chat window so we can start with our content.
Yeah, Jitu, it's visible. And one more thing, if anybody wants to talk in between, you can raise your hands. We will unmute you. We will disable your mic. You can unmute and you can discuss. Thank you.
Or my suggestion would be you guys can write down your question so that if anything is there, we will, or I will try to respond it as soon as possible. Okay, so one more thing before I can start, guys. A very simple thing I want to ask over here, that I want this session to be a two-way communication. Okay, it should be interacting and interesting, not just some boring lecture. Okay, it is only 1.5 hours and almost 15, 17 minutes have already passed, and we haven't started the technical stuff yet. But still, whatever time is left out, I want you to uh, please respond on the chat window if you can. Okay, I have got a point. Please raise hand. Okay. So basically, if you have anything to ask, you can either raise your hand or you can just drop a question in the chat window. I will directly answer that. Okay. So thank you guys for your time for this webinar. Okay. So before I start anything, I would like to have a small question over here, that what is cloud? I want a definition. Then only I can start anything. Come on. I want to know about what you know. Anyone? Cloud is a storage where we can run our application. Okay. Not exactly, Azad. Okay, cloud is used to store data. Again, storage, virtual storage space, virtual real estate. No, 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 no way it is. No, it's not real estate. Geeta says pay as you go. That's correct. That's correct. Then we have cloud are provided services. Okay, somewhat correct. Is something which is virtually available. Centralized storage. Cloud is a remote computer. A very sweet line, Chandan. Then we have got I can work from anywhere. Okay. Cloud refers to a remote server on the internet that, oh, quite technical, Roshan Singh. That's good. Good. Uh, Thank you guys. Thank you for your quick response. Provide services over internet. Okay, that's correct. Okay, great guys. Great. So at least most of you have the pretty much good knowledge on what cloud is. Let me start with one of my another expertise, that's MS Paint. Yeah, actually it is quite boring for me. So let me show you something before I can begin anything. So when you talk about cloud computing, yes, most of you have given the correct answer that yes, it is providing services. What kind of services are we talking about? So majorly, there are three. Majorly, I'm telling you, there are three services. Number one is called compute. Number one is called compute. Okay. So basically, compute services are nothing but where you have your virtual machines, CPU, RAM, and all those things. Okay. That's what basically compute is. Then it also provides another, oh, come on. It provides another way or another major topic called networking. Networking is the core component. Okay, without networking nothing is going to exist on internet or any network. Okay, so networking is important too. And finally, here comes your the third part, that's your storage. Okay, so people have written in the chat window that Azure or cloud is basically storage. Answer is no. No, it is not only storage. Cloud is the combination of compute plus networking plus storage. So this section over here, this section I'll mark with a red color over here. The section over here, that's what the cloud computing is all about. Cloud computing. Okay. So I hope now this particular definition is clear for everyone. Okay. So basically here we have cloud computing as the combination of compute, network, and storage. Okay. Storage is just one part of it. Storage is not only cloud computing, it is one part of it. Remember this particular point. Now, second thing is basically what happens is, like, let's say there are big giants available, which is Amazon and Google Cloud or Microsoft. Okay, so they have their own really big data centers available and they are renting the services. Okay. Just let's take a very simple live example which you might have seen in your own house. Okay. If you are having any marriage or any birthday function, so what will you do in that case? Generally we'll go to any event organizer, or we will be knowing some of the caterers and all those those tent house guys and all those people, and we will ask them to put their tent and their catering stuff, and then we pay for it, right? Or the alternative method could be you invest money from your pocket for purchasing the tents, purchasing the big utensils where you'll be cooking food for 1,000 and 5,000 people at the same time. Obviously, we are not going to go for this option, right? Because that kind of marriage or that kind of function would be for 1 day, 2 days, maximum a week. But what you will do once the function is over, right? It will not be of any usage. So generally what we do in that case, we will basically go and rent these services. Okay, so that is the reason cloud is also known by the another term where basically you say pay as you go. Okay, basically this is the technical term of rental services. Okay, so basically you are paying for what you are using and you are just taking it on rent. This is what basically cloud computing is all about. Now, let it be Amazon Cloud, let it be Microsoft Cloud, let it be Google Cloud, let it be VMware, Rackspace, OpenStack, whatsoever cloud exists. They all work exactly in the same manner. Okay. Basically, you are renting the services, and whatever duration you are using it, you have to just pay for it. That's all. Now, if you're thinking, Jitu, okay, why we should rent it? We can simply go and purchase it. Yes, you can do that. But again, think of that example just now, which I have taken. After the marriage is over, then what you will do with those big utensils or the tent that you have purchased? What you will do with that? Nothing. It's just a waste of money. Exactly in the same way, when you have too much of workload, you can purchase big servers. But what if you do not have the workload? Then what you will do? Like once you join any of the organization to work in any department, doesn't matter, it is going to be cloud only, it could be any other department. Out of 365 days, 150 days you will have a very heavy workload. Remaining days it could be something like you will not have a single work to do. You simply go to office, simply check your emails and come back. Getting the point? So basically, it is the workload is not same every day. If it is same, that okay, in that case I will be knowing, okay, this is the time where I have to invest more. But these kind of things can basically vary. That is the reason it is completely unexpected, and you do not have the proper knowledge on when the workload will be more and when it will be less. In these kind of situations, cloud computing is the best option for us. Okay, so why it is best? Another example, and then we'll switch to the PPTs. So let's say today I purchase or today I created one virtual machine with 4 GB RAM, and it has two core processors in it. Okay, it's a very simple machine. You you all are from basic computer science background. Okay, or at least you might be having some knowledge that if you have minimum 4 GB RAM and minimum 2 core processor available, you have a decent machine which can do basic level job. But let's say now I need to perform, or I need to have something really big. I have an application. Okay, like frankly speaking about myself, I am an online gamer. Don't worry, I'm not a PUBG gamer. I play Counter Strike. Okay, Counter Strike, NFS, and so many other games are there. Which generally I'm a professional gamer as well. So this particular setup, 4 GB RAM and 2 core processor, is not sufficient for me. So let's say on cloud, I need to do something like this. A bigger task has to be done. Do you think that 4 GB RAM will be sufficient for me? No way. Then in that case, what I will be doing is I will be then upgrading my environment. I will be upgrading my machine from 4 GB to, let's say, 16 GB, or even it could be 32 GB RAM, and it could be 8 core processors. This transition from 4 GB to 32 GB in cloud will take hardly 1 minute. Hardly 1 minute. Your machine will get restarted once, and you will be then upgraded from 4 GB to 32 GB instantly. 1 minute is actually very less, believe me. If you talk about production, like I'll tell you about my experience. I was working with one of the organization, and there I requested for a 32 GB laptop. So what they did basically, earlier I was having only 8 GB. For that upgradation from 8 to 32, I had to write an email. Then my manager called me after 1 day. Jitu, why do you need that? I have to explain it to him after 1 day. Okay. Please calculate the timeline. Okay. After 24 hours, he called me and he asked for the reason. I explained each and everything. Sorry. At least it took 20, 25, 30 minutes to explain the entire scenario. Then again, he was like, okay, wait for it. I'll approve it. He took another half day and then it got approved. Then it went to my senior manager on email only. After 2 to 3 hours, he approved it. Then again, it went to the inventory team, IT team. Okay. After it has gone to IT team checked for the inventory and they find out, okay, they do not have additional RAM available. So I got a reply that please wait, we have arranged it. It will be in the office in next 72 hours. Okay. Then actually it came after 1 week. And then after a week, they took my laptop for nearly half day and then they have upgraded the RAM. So in short, for upgrading from 8 GB to 32 GB, it took nearly 1 week's time. So you can imagine, right? Here in cloud also we have in cloud also you cannot just go ahead and start spinning 32 GB and 96 GB virtual machines just like that. You need approval for it. But you do not have to wait for the physical component to be there. I will show you this right now in the training today, where it has upgraded just from one specific number to another specific number within fraction of seconds, hardly minutes. And then immediately after that, I can start using that virtual machine. That's the beauty of cloud. Okay. So in short, basically you can perform anything and everything that you want, and you can pay a very minimal amount to basically deal with it. In fact, nowadays, all the big startups or even the big companies, they are moving towards cloud entirely. They are not at all entertaining their on-premises cloud now. Okay. So here I have used two terms, guys. Okay. On-premises. Okay. What do you mean by that? Can anyone explain it to me? What do you mean by on-premises? Come on, guys. See, I want it to be a two-way communication. Okay. Come on, respond back quickly. Okay, I started getting answers. Office, physical server, physical environment in reality. Okay. All the three answers are correct. When you say on premises, basically we are talking about in-house. Either you can call it as in-house or you can call your within same building or campus. So if that particular thing exists within your own campus or within same building, generally it is called as on premises. Okay. The physical infrastructure. So either it should exist within your own environment, okay, or it should be in-house, or it should be in same building or same campus. Means physical infrastructure where you can visit, where you can go and check for servers and storage and all those things. So all the big companies, they had their own on-premises environment. Companies like TCS, Wipro, Infosys, Microland, L&T, whatever name you take, these companies are having their own on-premises environment. But nowadays, they all are shifting towards the cloud computing environment only. Yeah, that is a debatable question for which cloud they are going. Is it AWS or Azure or anything else? That is a debatable question. Actually, it is all dependent on what kind of services you want and how much you are ready to pay. Because there are some services where you have to pay, you do not have to pay actually, but the similar service in another vendor will be charging for it. So depending upon your requirement, that particular cloud vendor may vary, but always it is good to go from the on premises to the cloud computing environment. I hope whatever we have discussed till now, it is clear for everyone. If you have any questions, please shoot it in the chat window. Okay. Now moving towards the next part. Thank you guys. Thank you for the acknowledgement. Okay. So basically now we are moving towards the next part. Okay. I am not gonna run all the PPTs. The data will be given to you by the end of the session. Okay. My team will send the same PPT, and there is one more PPT that will be sent to you as well. What that PPT is all about, at the end I'll explain it to you. So we will be talking about, okay, this cloud. I told you I'm not going to read each and everything. Basically, if you want to go through the entire definition of it, there's an organization called National Institute of Science and Technology. They have given this five-liner definition. If you are interested, please go through that. I'm not going to read it. So basically, when you talk about cloud computing, there are a few things that we have to be very much clear. Number one is on demand. So if you now correlate the previous examples which I have taken with these pointers, now you'll be able to understand what exactly we have discussed. Number one is on demand. On demand basically explains, on demand basically it explains that as per the requirement, I will be able to scale up my environment or scale down my environment. As per this diagram, I told you that moving from 4 GB to 32 GB will take only 1 minute. But what if I do not want 32 GB anymore? Should I still pay for it? Answer is no. I can again scale down to not only 4 GB, I can go for 8 GB also. That's the beauty of it. So that is what you called on demand scalable. On demand, as per it is required, you can increase or decrease the capacity. And by the way, this can be automated as well. Okay. I'll talk about that in a while. Next is unlimited computation and unlimited storage. So there is no limit for it. Here I have taken the example of 32 GB. I took the example of 32 GB over here. But what if I need 96 GB RAM? Actually, there are servers available which will reach till 96 GB or maybe more than that as well. So going from 4 GB to 96 GB, it's a big jump. And your cloud should be able to, your cloud vendor should be able to provide that. That's what you call unlimited computation. And unlimited storage means basically there is no limit for the storage. If I store 10 GB data in my storage, I just have to pay for 10 GB. If that 10 GB increases till or up to 100 GB, then I have to pay only for 100 GB. If out of 100 GB I deleted 50 GB, then again only 50 GB is remaining. So I have to now pay only for 50 GB data. So depending upon the requirement, I can add or remove the data, and then simultaneously I have to pay for that as well. Next, basically any cloud environment that fulfills these four characteristics. See, any data center, I told you, TCS is having its own data center, Wipro is having its own data center, LTI is having its own data center, Microsoft is having its own data center. Okay. These data centers, can't we call them as cloud computing centers? Answer is no. Why? You can call any data center as cloud computing data center if you follow, or if your data center follows these four rules. Number one, everything is a service. Means whatever you have, everything is readily available as a service. Basically, you can use them. Anup says they cannot rent. No, Anup, it's not like they cannot rent it. If I have a story, if I have a server available or small data center available, and if I am not using it, I can basically give it on rent. And by the way, that's how AWS started. Before 2006, when AWS came into picture, actually this was the situation. Amazon was having very huge storage unit. It was so huge that they were not able to utilize it completely. When they were not able to utilize it completely, it was totally going wasted. And after that, they were like, okay, let us rent this to another vendors. Let them store their data, and then based on the capacity, they have to pay us. That's it. And that's how basically AWS started into the picture. The very first service that came into picture in cloud computing was S3 bucket. S3, simple storage service. It's a storage unit of AWS cloud. Okay, and that's how basically it came into market. So they can rent the service. Okay. Now coming back to our pointer here, number one is everything is a service. So everything, let it be your firewall, let it be your network, let it be your database, let it be anything that you imagine, should be provided as a service. You can see here in the diagram, server, storage, mobile application, databases, websites, all these things basically can be hosted over here. Next is elastic in nature, elasticity in nature. So basically elastic, you all know the meaning of elastic, right? Elasticity, like a rubber band. Okay, you can stretch a rubber band and then you leave it, it goes in the natural state, right? That's what you call elasticity. In the same way, your cloud should be able to provide this elasticity. One of the example I've already taken over here, from 4 GB it went up to 32 GB, and then it dropped down to 8 GB. So again, like I was here, then I went over there, and then it came only till this particular point. This is what you call elasticity in nature. Next is high availability. High availability is a very in very simple terms, your services must be up and running no matter what happens. Just take an example. Today, this webinar is uh, sponsored by, or it is presented by Pioneer Business Solution. Okay. And I am the presenter over here. Let's say, due to some reasons, let's say I'm not well, or maybe something happened. Immediately, what PBS must do? They should rearrange another trainer to basically ensure that the webinar should not stop. That's the example of high availability. In high availability, what happens is, let's take a very simple example. Let's say I have only one server available. Let's say this is my server, which is running some application A1. Okay. It is running some application called A1. And now, let's say a user wants to connect to this particular server to access the website. And due to some reasons, now the server stopped working. Can he access it? Answer is no, he can't. Okay. This is when high availability is not there. So what we do in this case, we will make our setup highly available. And how do we do that? Simple. We will basically introduce another server over here. In front of the server, I will add something called as load balancer. Okay. Load balancer. And now the user will basically connect to this load balancer, and load balancer knows where exactly and how exactly the data should be transmitted. Now, again, coming back to the same issue, let's say the server goes down. No problem. Load balancer will be aware that, okay, this server is no more responding. So all the traffic will be now sent to the second server over here. This is the simple example of high availability. Okay. So here high availability must be provided. Now there is a number 99.99%. Okay, if you look at the PPT over here, I have clearly mentioned it is 99.99% SLA. The meaning of this particular four nines is, let me open Wikipedia. Okay. So here you can see it is the Wikipedia official page for high availability. Why I came to this page, I'll come down and I'll show you a table. This is called percentage. Oh, sorry. This is called percentage calculation. And here percentage calculation is done on the number of nines that you have in your SLA. SLA is basically service level agreement. It is the agreement between two organizations. Okay. So for example, PBS, Pioneer Business Solution, agreed that sharp 3 o'clock the session will start. And we started the session exactly at the same time. Okay. So this is the SLA agreement. Just imagine if we agree, or like how it happens in how to take the example. Okay. When you go to any of the theater to watch a movie, you will book a ticket for 6 p.m. Sorry, I'm not sure whether 6 p.m. show will be there or not, but assume it will be there. I am moreover a torrent guy. I don't watch movies in theater. Okay. So assume that you have booked a ticket which is exactly at 6 p.m., which says movie will start at 6 p.m. You reached exactly at 6 p.m., but they started showing all ads and everything. And then movie got started at 6:30. Will they, or do you think that they agreed with their SLA? Answer is no. So SLA is nothing but an agreement between two parties, two organizations. Okay. So remember, the more nines you add in the SLA, in service level agreement, you will have less downtime. Downtime means when the services will not be available for you. So you can see here when we had only one nine, that is 90% SLA. Downtime per year out of 365 days, 36.53 days, your services will not be running. Imagine you are running your own company and for 36 days, your application is not working only. It's more than 1 month. Am I right? More than 1 month, your services are not working. Then in that case, that's a big problem. If you break it down for 20, like per day, 24 hours. So in a day, 2.4 hours, you will sit idle. The services will not run. If I increase just one nine over here from 90% to 99%, you can see now there are two nines over here. See the downtime per reduced it from 36 days to 3.65 days. See the difference now. And where you were sitting 2.4 hours per day idle, here it is only 14 minutes. Now I hope you understand the importance of nine. Let me add one more nine to the picture, three nines, 99.9. From 3.65 days per year, it reduced to 8.77 hours per year. And one day it has reached up to 1.44 minutes. I hope now you are able to understand what exactly are we talking about. And if I say four nines, which is agreed SLA, so 8.64 seconds per day downtime. By the way, there are more nines also. You can see if I come down here, it has written up to 12 nines. 12 nines. Imagine 99 point and then these many nines. Check the per day downtime. 86.4 nanosecond. You blink your eye, server crashed, immediately everything went up online again. Within fraction of seconds, the things will change. That is the beauty of the high availability. So if your machine, if your organization is able to provide 99.99% SLA, that means you can call yourself as a cloud computing environment. And finally, unlimited computation power. So if any data center that provides above four characteristics is a cloud. If your data center is providing these four options, you can call your data center as cloud data center. Then you have the right to call your center as cloud data center. Am I clear to everyone till this point, guys? Only few people are responding. What about others, guys? Naveen has raised his hand. Yeah, Naveen. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the acknowledgement. Now, so here basically, when you talk about cloud services, there are majorly three services: infrastructure as service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Majorly, these were the three services which were introduced. Okay. Now we have plenty of other services also available. Now we have identity as a service, we have firewall as a service, database as a service, network as a service, and so on. You name it, there is a service available for it. So basically, here you have these three major pillars which defines what kind of work you want to perform. And majorly we have three things: infra, platform, and software, as PaaS and SaaS. Okay. So basically these three features we have. And if you really want to understand what exactly these things are, let me explain with a simple diagram over here. So if you look at this particular scenario, here it says on the extreme left, business manages everything. On this extreme left corner, we have this application, data, runtime, middleware, OS. So if I start reading from the bottom, in the bottom, we have networking. Networking is something which I have to manage on my own on premises. Okay. Whether I should use class A IP, class B IP, class C IP, how many subnets I need to create, what kind of cable I have to use, whether it has to be Cat 6 cable or fiber optic cable or Cat 5 cable. Those kind of things at the end, at the bottom layer, we need to discuss. We need to decide. Then what kind of storage you are looking for? You want RAID storage, you want iSCSI storage, you want Dell storage, you want HP storage. What kind of storage you are looking at? Then what kind of server are we looking at? Is it gonna be Dell server? Is it gonna be HP server? Is it gonna be Lenovo servers? Okay. Physical layer, physical servers I'm talking about. Then what kind of virtualization you want to apply? Is it gonna be type 1? Is it gonna be type 2? Then we have the operating system, we have middleware, and so on. Meaning, in this extreme left corner, we have the entire workload to be managed by us only. We are the one who's gonna take responsibility for managing each and everything. We have to do that. That's the on premises. Then if you now look at the IaaS, infrastructure as a service, the second column over here. So whatever is green in color over here, you can see network, storage, server, and virtualization. This will be managed by my vendor itself. If I'm talking about Azure, Microsoft is my vendor. If I'm talking about AWS, Amazon is my vendor. If I'm talking about GCP, Google is my vendor. They will look for these remaining four things, and the remaining five sections, I have to work with it. Next, looking at the platform as a service, PaaS. So whatever is green in color, network, storage, server, virtualization, OS, middleware, runtime, these are the things that will be managed by the vendor. I just have to manage my data in my application. That's it. And finally, software as a service. So to understand software as a service, you do not have to do anything. Each and everything will be managed by the vendor itself. Vendor is going to take care of each and everything. So these are the three as SaaS services which will help you out in understanding what kind of workload you want and how exactly you have to run your applications. Okay. You want to deploy any application on the infrastructure part where we have to manage few things, or you have to run it as a platform as a service where you have to manage least things, or you want to run it as a SaaS where you do not have to manage anything. Everything will be managed by the vendor itself. Then coming to the next part, that is cloud deployment models. So basically we have public, private, and hybrid. These are the three major cloud deployment. Then we have community cloud, we have gov cloud. These are additional ones. Major are three: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Public cloud is something which can be used by anyone, means public. It's available on the internet. Then we have a private cloud, which is managed by only single organization. And then we have hybrid cloud, which is basically the combination of public and private cloud. So this is the basic thing that you have to remember when you talk about the deployment models. Okay. These are the quite famous cloud vendors. These are the few vendors which are available in market, which you can use. Basically, you can use any of them. It's not a problem. You have to just create your account over there and you're good to go. Okay, I've got a question. What's the difference between CaaS and SaaS? CaaS is basically container as a service, and software as a service, SaaS. Okay. Basically, there are major differences between the two. Containers are something which you have to create using the YAML file, and then basically you define the workload on top of it. Okay. And to run those containers, we need a platform basically. That's what basically the container as a service is. In Azure also, we have container service. It's called Azure Kubernetes Service and Container Service. And in Amazon also, we have Elastic Kubernetes Service and Elastic Container Service. Okay. So every cloud platform offers the container to run. They are only gonna manage the little, or you can say the limited part of it, not everything. Because the container that you have created, basically you have defined inside that container that what exactly you need to run. Let's say I want to run an application. Let me switch to my MS Paint and explain it over here. Let's say I want to run a container This is gonna be my, let's say, PHP container. And here I am gonna have, let's say, my SQL container. Okay. And these two are connected to each other. Okay. This is what basically is happening. These two containers are running within a pod, you can say. Okay, this is my pod. And now it is running. But where it is running actually? It must be running on some platform, right? It must be running on some platform. That platform, let's say my platform is Azure. I'm running it on Azure. In Azure, you must be running it either on the built-in service, that is Azure Container Service, or what you might have done, you might have created a virtual machine, and inside the virtual machine, you might be running it. So Azure, in short, will support this platform and it will support this platform, not the data inside it. When you talk about software as a service, let's say an entirely software as a service. Okay. And this entire is basically managed by the vendor, let's say Azure itself. So now the service and the data which is running inside, that will be managed by that vendor itself. That is the major difference between your CAAS and SaaS. I hope Naveen now it is clear.
Yes, it's clear. Thank you.
Great, great. So these are the few vendors which are available in the market: Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, Alibaba, IBM, VMware, Rackspace, Adobe, and the list goes on and on. Obviously, I'm not going to add all the names over here, but these are the famous names which very easily you will find on internet. Okay. Now talking about Azure. Okay, so I am okay. What's the difference? What's the difference among remaining cloud vendors compared to Azure? Okay, that's a very good question. The simple difference is that the pricing model, see, majorly when you select Azure, okay, you look for two different things. Number one, pricing. Okay. Number two, services offered by that particular cloud. Let's say you need to purchase a car. Okay. Now, generally, what you will do, first thing you will select, okay, what is my requirement? Basic requirement. Do I need only two-seater car or four-seater or five-seater or seven-seater? Once you are clear with this particular requirement, second, you will go for the budget, right? I want 10 lakh rupees car, I want 15 lakh, 20 lakh, 25 lakh, and so on. Once you lock on to these two things, now it will be really easy for you to work with different car manufacturers or car companies. Exactly in the same way we deal with the clouds. When you want almost everything to work on licenses provided by Microsoft, or Microsoft should take care of the licensing part, then in that case we go with the Azure. When you want, you do not have to manage each and everything from your end. You want vendor also, my Azure vendor should also get included over here and do the management for me. Then in that case, we go with the Azure cloud. Apart from that, if you want everything to control by yourself, when I say control everything, I'm talking about license. I'm talking about the basic backend working. I'm talking about almost everything. If you want to manage everything, then you have AWS. But in AWS also, there are some services which are very free, which are free, and the same services in Azure are paid, and vice versa also. There are some services which are free in Azure but paid in AWS. So depending upon these things, these factors, you need to define what exactly you need to do and how exactly you need to work with it. Ultimately, they all are cloud. Ultimately, they all are providing the same services only. Like generally, like I'm a very much car guy. So when I talk to my family that, okay, this is BMW, this will cost somewhere around 70 lakh or 80 lakh rupees. My mom will say only one line over here. It also has four tires. It also requires only one steering wheel to manage it. And you can fit 4 to 5 people. Then what is the difference? Okay. And in a way, if you look at the bigger picture, exactly it's the same thing, right? The same thing is applied here as well. You need to work with a specific service. The cloud vendor is providing that, offering that service. You need to use it. You have to pay for it. What additional they are giving, that is where you need to focus also. That is the major ask whenever you are looking for any cloud vendor. I hope now it is clear. Antala Mitranand, I hope I've answered your question. Okay. Okay, there is another question as well. How much percentage that other cloud vendor similar to Azure? See, if you talk about percentage wise, cloud is actually grooming a lot. Okay. So exactly giving the exact number will not be possible, but major tech companies are moving towards multi-cloud infrastructure. Multi-cloud in the sense, see earlier what was happening, they were only having Azure or they were only having AWS account. But now what is happening, they have merged together two different clouds or multiple clouds together, and then they are taking the advantage of all the services. For example, compute service in Azure is very good, but storage service in AWS is very good. So what they are doing for computation, they are using Azure, but to store data, they are using AWS. That's how basically the things are working in reality. Okay. So basically you have to deal with multiple cloud. Because of that, giving the exact percentage will not be possible at this moment. Okay. So here I'll show you now the practical part of it. Okay. So this is how the Azure portal looks like. Okay. Here you can see on the left hand side, I have several services available. On top here, we have something called as create a service, create a resource, sorry. So create a resource is basically anything that you create in your account basically is nothing but a resource. Virtual machine is a resource. Network is a resource. Database is a resource. Network is a resource. Firewall is a resource. IP address is a resource. Okay, so anything that you create is basically a resource in cloud. So when I click here on create a resource, it will give me a bunch of services that it is offering. AI, ML, analytics, blockchain, compute, container, database, developer tools, DevOps, identity, and the list goes on and on. If I go for, let's say, compute, in compute, what exactly I want to do? I want to create a virtual machine. I want to create a Azure Kubernetes service. This is the Kubernetes service offered by Azure. Okay. Then we have container registry. Okay. Someone asked me regarding containers. So here we have container registry where we can create our own containers. Then we have container instances, API, and so on. So let's say I want to create my Windows. Let's go with Windows Server. Okay. I'll go with Windows over here, but not in this way. Hold on. Not in this way. I'll go to virtual machine and click on create over here, create virtual machine, and yeah. Now you can see there are different tabs available: basic, disk, network, management, monitor, advanced, tag, and review, create. So you need to fill all these details. And once it is done, it will take hardly fraction of seconds, hardly a minute, a couple of minutes, and it will create your virtual machine. And you can then work with your virtual machine and just start using it. Irrespective of where you are, how you're working, and all those things, you do not have to worry about that. Just start using the services. The only the two minimum requirements to work with any cloud is: number one, you should be having the updated web browser. Number two, you should be having proper internet connectivity. I'm not asking for high speed connectivity. Proper internet connectivity must be there. Okay. If you have these two things, you can simply go ahead and start creating the virtual machines and start working on it. And if you're thinking, Jitu, how will I get this account? So pretty simple. You can go and go on the internet and type create Azure account. And here it will give you this link. You can see built-in cloud with Azure, and simply click here on the free account. Free account requires credit card. So if you have credit card, then go for it. Otherwise, you can go with pay as you go account. So pay as you go account is just like your how to say, your internet bill. If you're using postpaid SIM, okay, or any type of bill. So whatever you use for the entire month, at the month end, you will get a bill generated, and you have to just pay for it. If you're thinking, G2, I won't pay, then what will happen? Nothing. Your account will be deactivated and you will not be able to use it anymore. Simple. Okay. So once you create your account, you will have two major important things. Number one is called subscription. Now the subscription is very much important. A very general question to everyone. Can I watch movie without a Netflix subscription on Netflix? Yes. Chandan, please tell me the way, okay? So basically, the overall answer, getting access. Okay. Basically, if you do not have the acha from the owner. Okay. So see, in simple terms, if you do not have the access, then you'll not be able to watch the movie. You need a subscription for that, correct? Exactly in the same way, if you need to work on Azure, you must have a subscription available. There are plenty of subscriptions available. Any one of them must be there. Okay. Like MSDN, Microsoft Developer Network subscription, or Visual Studio, which I am having, or free trial subscription, or pay as you go subscription, or enterprise subscription. Okay. Like that, there are plenty of subscriptions available. You must have one in order to work with it. This enterprise is only available for organizations. Apart from that, anyone else can be purchased from Microsoft. Like you can see here, for me, Visual Studio Enterprise subscription is available. So I am having Visual Studio subscription here. Next is resource group. Resource group is just like a logical container. Let me show you something. Okay. So this is my computer data. There are 3 drives in my system. Windows, basically it is the operating system, personal and official. If I open the official, you can see there are some folders available over here. By looking at the folder, what you understood? Basically, if I open this folder over here, I must be having some content related to Microsoft Azure, right? Basically, what happened, what I'm trying to explain is resource group is nothing but a logical container that contains logical data or proper synchronized grouped data inside it. A resource group is basically a logical container that will have some similar data in it. Let's say I have 66 people available in the session right now. And let's take Anusha R. Okay. So let's say she wants to create her own virtual machines and everything. So how she will create it? The proper method will be she will create her own resource group. And inside that resource group, she will create all of her resources. That is the basic method in Azure. You will create a resource group, and within that resource group, you will put everything and you create everything. So let's say you can see I already have two resource group available over here. I'm not going to disturb that because it does not belong to G2. I'll click here on create and then let's say webinar RG. RG is nothing but a resource group. This is the name which I have given over here. And now the virtual machine name. Now, what is the virtual machine name? Virtual machine name is nothing but the host name that you want to give. My computer name. Oh, come on. You can see my computer name over here is workstation. Exactly in the same way, you will be having your own computer names. So any name can be given over here, something like uh, demo server 01. Some random name I have given. Okay. Region. This is very much important. Right now, I am in India, but I can also create resources globally. Okay. Globally, in the sense, anywhere in the world, I can go and create. Microsoft is having data center in more than 150 locations globally, worldwide. I can select any of the location and I can start working on it. My personal favorite is United States location because it gives me authority. It gives me full access to do anything and everything over there. Availability options I'll disable as of now. Image. This is important. Which operating system image you would like to select? Now, here you can see by default Windows Server 2025 data center Azure edition is selected. But what if my manager asked me that, okay, G2, do one thing, create a Windows Server 2022 or 2019 server. Then in that case, what I have to do, I'll go to Microsoft website, download the ISO, install it, and then configure it, right? Which will take hours and hours of time. I can just go ahead and select from the drop down whatever version I want. That's it. And size, you can see here. Initially, it has selected 2 vCPUs and 4 GB RAM. I can also go with 4 vCPUs and 16 GB RAM, 2 vCPUs, 8. I've got a very big list over here. If you're thinking G2, this list is not that big, why you are overhyping everything? I can click here on see all sizes and there we go. Check. Now you understood why I said I have got a very huge list. The list is pretty big. Okay. So depending upon the requirement, you have to select your one simple specific size and you have to deal with it. Here is my username. So I will go with the username G2. I will give my password, which I am not gonna tell you guys. Okay. And that's all. By the way, you can see here the last part, licensing. So what if you are running your own on premises and you want to migrate to Azure? Then what you will do? In that case, what you can do is you can take the license key which you have in your on-premises and attach that license key to this Windows server. If you do that, you straight away get 49% discount on the overall bill. 49% discount is a big discount, right? So you can get that as well. Similarly, you can attach disk over here. You can see right now there's only one disk of 127 GB attached, but I can attach more data disk from here. I can create my own network from here. I told you without networking, we will not be able to perform. We will not be able to do anything. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. So networking is also important over here. Next is management, some management related job, like for example, auto shutdown. Like generally I'm having a tendency of forgetting to shut down the VM. So what I can do is I can auto shut down it by scheduling the time. Let's say I want it to be shut down by 6 p.m. And here I have to go ahead and change the time zone to plus 5:30. That's it. Once this is done, automatically at 6 p.m., the virtual machine will get shut down. Next, I can enable the monitoring over here, but I'll disable it because it will create a storage which will charge more. And finally, review and create. So see, I have just given few details over here, not much. Okay, very few details I gave and check. If I run this virtual machine, remember pay as you go. If I run this virtual machine for an hour, I will have to pay 3.4 rupees per hour. If I run the same virtual machine for 1 hour. For 8 hours, 3.46 into 8. For 10 hours into 10 and so on. So just do this and click on create and just wait for few minutes, couple of minutes, not more than that. General timing is 1 minute, but sometimes it can take 1.5 minutes as well. Okay. Meanwhile, if you guys have any queries, you can shoot it in the chat window. I'll be happy to respond back. So you can see here the deployment has succeeded. And I don't think it has taken more than a minute. Okay. Simply I'll go to resource and my virtual machine is ready. That's all. If you really want to connect with it, I can just click on connect, download the RDP, connect with it. Undefined. Hold on, hold on, hold on. There is a problem. Now it is fine. So I've given my password and come on, there we go. So now this particular virtual machine is actually created in United States, and here in India, I am accessing my virtual machine. That's the beauty of cloud. Okay. So here basically we have all the resources available on the go and which will basically help us out in these cloud environments. Now, another thing which I want to show you See, for the first time, it will take some time to basically load up the thing, so we can ignore that for now. But another major thing which I wanted to show you. Notice we have two vCPUs and 4 GB memory. Okay. So here basically what we have only two vCPUs and 4 GB memory available. And now let us scale it. Let's increase the capacity of it. To do that, basically I'll search here called size. Yeah. You have to just search under this availability plus scale. I am being lazy, little bit lazy over here. That's why I simply typed it and it came over here. You can see I have got two vCPUs and 4 GB RAM available. Let's increase it to 8 vCPUs and 32 GB RAM. Before I do that, before I do that, let me let me do something. Okay. So here I will right click, go to new, and I will create a document file and I'll give the name here readme, and I'll write some data over here. This is a demo file by G2 before resize. Okay, I've written something over here. Okay, and now I will resize my virtual machine just to show you that G2 is not bluffing. Okay, the same virtual machine is getting resized. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will change it to 8 vCPUs and 32 GB RAM and click on resize. And it is asking, do you want to resize? Yes. And the resize started. This will take some time now. And once it is resized, I will again go to my virtual machine and then I will check whether it got resized or not. Okay, this is going to be a little bit time consuming. So meanwhile, okay, I've got a question. Myth or fact, Azure charges you for unused or misconfigured services? It is a fact. It is a fact. Misconfiguration is still a configuration, right? And misconfiguration, see, if you're talking about inside the virtual machine, then no problem. Then it won't charge anything because virtual machine is a part of infrastructure as a service. Okay. But if you have configured or if you have created any another web app, web app is nothing but a free website, which you, not a free website actually, a website that can be created on Azure platform. So if you have misconfigured that, yes, it will be charged. So even the misconfiguration is actually a configuration that you have done. So if it is done, obviously it will be charged in the backend. And not only Azure, let me break that myth. It is not only Azure, it is with every cloud. Let it be GCP, let it be AWS, VMware, Rackspace, you name it, they do it. So basically here you do not have any option of being wrong. If you are wrong and if you have done something wrong over here, be ready to pay. I'll tell you one fact which happened with one of my student. I was taking an AWS training. It was Sunday to Sunday training. Okay. Sunday 2 hours only, not more than that. So one Sunday before, I took a service called Route 53. It's a DNS service. Okay. And I told him that once you create zones and everything, you delete that particular, and if you want to redo the things, you can create it again and work with it. This guy forgot to delete the Route 53 zone. After 1 week, he logged in when we are about to start the session. Then his heart came out. He got a bill of 29,000 rupees only. His only mistake was he forgot to delete that service. It was not in use, but he forgot to delete that service. So cloud is a dual-edged sword. If you mishandle it, if you do not handle it properly, it's your fault, no one else. I hope I have answered your question. Great. Thank you. So let's wait for it because I told you resize is gonna take little bit time. It is a time consuming process. It takes hardly 2 to 4 to 5 minutes basically. Okay. But it will be done. If it is not failing, then it will be resized for sure. So meanwhile, okay, let it get resized. Meanwhile, if you want to, let's say, host your own website, okay, let's say on Azure, if you want to host your own website, there is a service offered by Azure called Web App Service. Okay, Azure Web App or App Service. This app service is the one which will help you in creating. See here, create, build, deploy, and manage powerful web, mobile, and API apps for employee customer. So basically, you can use any kind of programming language or web development language to basically deploy your own website. You can even introduce containers over here, and with the help of that, you can launch your own website. I'll just go through the configuration. I'm not going to create it entirely, but I'll just go through the configuration. Okay. So I'll give a name. Now, here the name has to be something unique. You can see at the end, there's a default demo. So I'll give webinar demo 01. Okay. So webinar demo 01 dot azure websites dot net. That's going to be my whole website URL. Okay. Now, what kind of publish you want? You want a code publish or you want container published? So let's say I'll go with code. Then what kind of runtime stack you want? So when I click onto it, see .NET versions, Java version, Node, PHP, Python. So we have these many different versions available. I can select any one of them, let's say PHP, and just click on review and create, and your website will be, your demo website will be up and running. Okay. So still it is taking time. Fine. Okay, so we'll see if it is getting over by within the time or not. One more thing, guys. I told you that my team will be sharing one PDF with you guys. The specialty about that PDF is that PDF contains all the official contents of Microsoft Azure administration in it. Okay. In short, Microsoft basically has major paper codes like AZ900, which is basically fundamental, and AZ104, that is basically Azure administration. So the PPT which I will be sharing or my team will be sharing with you, that is for AZ104. And if you read it, you'll be able to understand what exactly is happening. Since it was a very small duration webinar, I cannot take each and every topic in depth, but surely in future, we will be having a detailed webinar on this technology. If you guys insist, then definitely we will look into it and we will have a whole day session depending upon your availability, and we will plan for practical oriented session that day. Okay, so I hope that's all for I hope that is clear to everyone till this point. Okay, so guys, before we drop off, there is a feedback form in the chat window. Please fill that feedback form. Okay. Meanwhile, even I am waiting for the resize to happen. Okay. And then we can drop off. So please fill the feedback form. And over to you, Sugandhi. Then I'm done from this point.
Yeah. Good evening, all. Thank you very much, Jitu. It was a wonderful session. Thanks for sharing your knowledge towards their learning. So it was very informative. Even we learned many things. I'm taking away many things from this webinar. Thank you so much. And I hope all the participants are enjoyed. And it was a very interactive webinar also. And I hope participants also will take a lot of key takeaways from this webinar. And future, if you want to deep dive into these two topics, whatever Jitu has mentioned, you can reach out to us. We will connect with your team and we can deliver this training. And we are also open for open house batches and even private batches. Yeah. Thank you very much. And as Jitu has mentioned, I request you to give your valuable feedbacks we have given in the chat box. Yeah. Thank you all once again for the joining for this webinar, and we'll come back to you shortly with the other upcoming webinars. Thank you. Thank you, Jitu, once again.
Yeah, thank you, Sugandhi.
Yeah, before leaving, I request all the participants to give the feedbacks. Thank you.
Sugandhi, what about the session link? Is it gonna be uploaded anywhere? One of the participant is asking.
Yeah, so actually, was this like to, tomorrow or by Monday, you will be receiving all the recordings. Handouts has been shared by Jitu. So those everything, all the documents, you will be receiving it to you. Your personal IDs, like whichever the IDs you are registered it, you will be receiving it. Handouts and along with the recordings.
As well, sorry, I wanted to add something. As well, this recorded video will be uploaded in Pioneer Business Solutions YouTube channel. So you people can watch that. Thank you.
So those who are still in the meeting, you guys can see now it has been successfully resized to 8 vCPUs and 32 GB RAM. So this is what I was talking about, guys. Okay. I've shared the same screenshot in the chat window as well. You can get it from there as well. Yeah, now I'm done.